Hey everybody, Bo here. Hey, check it out. We are over at the lake, McIntosh Lake in Longmont, Colorado. And I am on the path. We call it pedestrian bike combo. And it is quiet over here, so I am on the path. If there's a lot of people, I don't really ride this, but so this is going to be a ride and guide, like kind of like a talk and walk. Well, this is a ride and guide here in Boulder County, Colorado, one of our really nice open spaces in my neighborhood. And this has become a really big paddleboard lake now because it's free and there's no parking fees, and Longmont's been really good about that. It's really caught on. When I moved here, they had just finished this around the lake, and there weren't many people out here at all. And now in the summer, if you come here on a weekend, it is jam-packed, wall-to-wall, wall-to-wall, wall-to-wall people. So, but this is a great place to ride around. There's a lot of trees. You can put up hammocks. Good place to have lunch, hang out. Lucky to live here. Yeah, see these guys. Another beautiful day in Colorado. So I am on my XP 1.0, one of the original ones. I've got 2,442 miles on it. Let's see, I replaced the back tire, brake pads, and battery. Now if you're looking to buy a new e-bike or an XP, and there's an option for the bigger battery, I'm gonna say go for the bigger battery, because man, what a difference it's made for me on this. Since I upgraded the battery, it seems like, it could be just me, but it seems like pedal assists each pedal assist has just a little bit more power, and once I got used to that, that was fine. Now I'm gonna slow her down. On your left. And what's nice about these smooth paths is there's not much friction, so doesn't take much to get going. I'm in pedal assist 2, 7th gear. One of my favorites is pedal assist 2, 5th gear. Here, I'll drop it down to 5. The pedaling's really nice and mellow. And of course, I like pedal assist 3 and 7th gear because that's a constant 15 to 20 miles an hour, more like 18 miles an hour. But since I'm on the bike path, walkway path with people on it, I'm going to stay in pedal assist 2 for right now. You know, some people are on their phone, they're not paying attention, but he seems to be in the left lane trying to watch what's going on. What's up, man? And yeah, I can't tell you how many times I'm riding around in the city or in our town, not really a city, small Townsville. Anyway, I will have to yell at one of these kids to look up, or I'll just say heads up, because they're just not paying attention. They're looking at their phone the whole time they're walking, and they're not paying attention to their surroundings. I mean, I don't do it to be rude. I just kind of like, you know, heads up. Better than honking a horn and scaring the heck out of them. Yeah, nice day to be out there doing a little wind sailing. Look at that. Now, you know, it's a little hazy today. But you can't see real well out there because of this wide angle. Foothills is 5 miles from about where I'm at. And through that haze is Long's Peak and Mount Meeker, which is a 14er. And it's nice when there's snow on it because then it looks a lot higher. And it definitely, when you're in warmer climate and you see snow on there, it kind of gives you that nice cool feeling. All right, onward. Now, as far as throttle, I use it to get on the bike. It's kind of like my heads up or my legs up. And I use throttle for turning and tight maneuvering, because I think if you're in pedal assist, especially if you're in the wrong pedal assist and you're trying to turn and it makes you go a little bit faster than you want, you might lose control. But if you use the throttle and ride it like it would a motorcycle or any sort of motorized vehicle, it's kind of easy to turn and maneuver tight stuff without the invariable, because you can just let go of the throttle and it'll stop. And of course, always keep one hand on a brake lever to disengage that motor, because that's really important, because you just never know. You're standing at an intersection and maybe your right hand is kind of touching the throttle and you don't really realize it, and the next thing you know, you hit the throttle and it starts going. But if you keep your hand on that brake, you'll never have to worry about that, because it disengages it. But yeah, this is one of my riding guides. Hey, I just love this route, especially when nobody's on it. It's mid-afternoon, midweek. The temperature's probably in the low 90s, so there's not a lot of people out walking around. Usually the lake has a lot more people on it. It looks like there's some storms brewing to the west. We're supposed to get some tomorrow, which is always good. We like those afternoon showers because it cools everything down. That's the beauty of Colorado, is it doesn't normally rain days in, days. It kind of blows through, cools everything down, and then goes from there. All right, bear with my camera here. All right. Also, I find in this kind of dirt, pedal assist 2 is really good. Oh, sorry. Now, I should have been paying attention to my mirrors, because I did not. Normally, I'm always looking at the mirrors and, making sure nobody's behind me. And normally, nobody's boogieing like that. So, there's going to be more and more e-bikes on the road and paths as we get going. And I'm sure there's going to be more and more restrictions, too. This is such a great place to ride because of the dirt. I'm keeping it in too because it's bumpy and the camera will knock down a little bit. But once we get around the bend here, then I'll knock it up to 3 and then start cruising. On your left. Yeah, what's nice about back here too is the path's really wide, and since it's dirt, most people can hear you coming. All right, I'm in 2, pedal assist 5. I'm gonna quick it up to 3, and then I'm going into pedal assist 7, and this is my cruising, which you will probably find You know, and that was the one thing about the new battery is I noticed pedal assist 3 and this dirt was just a little, oops. Pedal assist 3 in this dirt was just a little bit too fast. I mean, it's okay if I don't have a camera, but anyway, I'm going to drop it back down to 2. That way, the camera doesn't keep falling down, because my GoPro, for some reason, I can't get a tight grip on it on this chest holster. Yep, and this is our little farm, our open space, Macintosh agriculture center. And they actually graze and farm. And so one thing I love about Boulder County is the open space. So if you get bored, go for a hike, go for a walk, go for a ride. Just get outside. That's key. You gotta move, you gotta groove. I'm at a point right now where I'm trying to figure out this last quarter of my life, which kind of sounds strange to say. And I said that to one of my friends. He said, last quarter, I'm in overtime. Anyhow, but it's kind of weird, you know, becoming one of the old people now. Replacing your parents, the cycle of life. And you know, everybody looks a little bit different. It's really strange. Everything's strange to me right now, but I'll get over it. I'll get through it. Everybody does. You know, I went through this when I officially turned into an old man in my 50s. No longer that vibrant 30s. Even 40s, you start to gray, and next thing you know, you're an old man. And then when you go to that last phase, boy, that's kind of weird for me. Like I said, I guess I'll get used to it. Just got to keep it moving and grooving like this. What's up, guys? Yeah, I'm amazed people out here walking around. It's fairly warm. And of course, that always amazed me in Arizona too, because it'd be 110, people just start taking off in the middle of the desert. It's like, are you nuts? Same thing when I was chasing lightning. I'd watch people go climb these giant, you know, boulders and stuff in the middle of the desert. It's like, I don't think I'd be doing that right now. You want to be as low as you can go. Yeah, so there's all these prairie dogs out here. It's kind of their home. Of course, there's a lot of birds. All right, nobody's on the beach. Yeah, I was out here one time and there's a guy hanging out, and he had names for a couple of them. Blondie and Brownie, he called them. And he had all kinds of stories about them. And of course, this was in the spring, late spring, and they all had their babies. And man, it was just so wild to see these little prairie dogs. And they stay really close to the hole. So when they come out, you see like 6 of them lined up on top of the hole. And then as soon as you get close, they all run down. You know, and of course they have to worry about birds and eagles, and they're always looking for eagles and hawks, because I'm sure that'd be a nice tasty dinner for those guys. All right, now this is my most favorite part, is back by the beach. So with this, This is kind of like little tight maneuvering. So this is what I'm saying, where you just use your throttle to maneuver. That way you can just hit it a little bit and go. Keep it in control, keep your turning in control. You can tight turn if you need to. But I am a believer you should ride these things like a bike, not a moped or motorcycle, because, oh, that's what they're meant to be. All right, this is the back beach. Used to be a nice swing in this tree, but I was there for a couple years and I guess they took it down. It's nice to see it so mellow out here today, because usually it can be packed, especially on the weekends or a holiday. And so far they've been regulating it. They put out signs that you have to have a life preserver or life jacket on every vessel for every person, which is good, because you just never know. Drowning can happen easy just because of cramps, or you just never know what. Sharks. No, anyway, there are a lot of carp in this lake, and bass, and so you always see people out here fishing as well. I had met a really big fly fisherman, and I think this is 15 years ago. He was, I think, president of the Boulder chapter at that time, and he used to come out here just for the carp, because he liked, fly fishing. And if you get one of those babies on there, holy moly, they fight, and they fight like heck. But this tree is one of my favorite trees. One thing about these cottonwoods, they give a lot of shade, but one by one they're dying out. I think they only have a lifespan of maybe 100 years. I don't know. There was one in Hygiene that was the largest one in the U.S. or something like that. It died. That died about 10 years ago. And little by little, they're cutting them down because of the cotton that comes off of them. And now there's, I guess, a new strain that doesn't do the cotton. Kind of like down in Arizona, they have olive trees that don't put out the olives, I guess, or the part that gets people allergies. I'm not sure, but anyway, it's been such a long time. So that's that. And now that's the dam. You go across, and that would be a complete circle for us, which isn't very far. I think it's 3.5 miles. I'll go around this a couple times. Sometimes I will go into the neighborhoods. I like to ride around 10 miles, and that makes me happy. But I can tell you, with this new battery, I can go anywhere in this town. Side to side, length to length. I mean, I go places that I normally wouldn't go, and I don't worry about power anymore. So the morals of the story is, bigger is better. Get the bigger battery. And there are some great aftermarket batteries too that you can do. That's the other thing I love about Lectric XPs, man. You can buy aftermarket parts. So you're not locked in, but I mean, it's always good to go to the manufacturer. And I'm a fan of their bikes, and I think they've made them better and better. So, but I'm chucking along with my 1.0, and we'll keep chucking along until the bitter end. All right, well, there it is. I'm gonna leave you with that view. Hope you enjoyed this little ride. Until next time, this is Bo. We'll talk to you later. See ya.